can today. Trying to get a little bit more done. Now, I asked my guy, because it's his birthday today, first of all. Happy birthday. But I asked him because he does not garden, okay? He has never gardened. So I asked him, since he's a newbie, say you wanted to garden, what is it that's the first thing you'd want to know? So he said to me, what's the easiest ones to start growing so I don't mess things up? And that's a pretty great question, and that's pretty genuine in all aspects. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, I guess. A lot of newbies don't know where to start. And again, I say all the time, it's very overwhelming when you're first starting and you're trying to do a new thing. It can be tough, and you can get discouraged pretty quickly when you don't see results, or you feel like you screwed up or whatever. It's hard to keep going, right? So let me try and foolproof a little bit for you. So what I would suggest, first of all, aside from just saying like specific plants, when you go grocery shopping at the store and you are making dinner and you have some food scraps, there are certain vegetables and fruits and things that have seeds or have butt ends that are easily plantable. They can regrow that exact same plant. How amazing are plants, right? They can regrow that exact same plant that you already have there in front of you. So you kind of have a kickstart on a good healthy plant that was already, a good healthy plant. So that being said, people will say carrot tops and parsnip tops, but you're not actually going to get a carrot or a parsnip. You are going to get greens. And the greens from carrots and parsnips, if you didn't know, are edible. They're quite tasty. You can eat them totally. But what you're going to get are seeds. So you'll get a root. It'll grow a root thing, but not like an edible root that you want to eat. And that's cool, because then you'll have seeds for the next year. So you can plant those scraps, and they will definitely grow nice, great, big, tall stalks and make you a whole bunch of seeds. So that's one thing you can do. Lettuce, butt ends of lettuce. Keep that little butt end. So you're going to cut the leaves of your lettuce off about an inch. Leave about an inch, like that, good inch and a half maybe, of the bottom butt. Okay, set that aside. You eat dinner, you make a salad, you do whatever, and you keep that little butt end, and you set that in water or right in the soil. That's what I do. I try and bypass all these extra little steps that people suggest doing. It's just a lot of, for no apparent reason at all to me. Throw it in some moist soil, and you're good to go. That is going to grow you more lettuce. It's going to grow you a plant of lettuce, and that's easy peasy. Cabbage, you can do the exact same thing. Keep a nice little butt end to the bottom. I've actually had success with broccoli stalks. So you take the crown of broccoli and then you have that stalk. Now, not every time does it take, but every now and again you'll get a nice healthy plant and it'll start growing little shoots. And you can regrow your broccoli and your cauliflower that way as well. What else is it? Spinach. Sometimes when you buy spinach, especially if you're purchasing spinach in, say, a more South Asian specific store, because when they sell the spinach, they typically sell it with the butt ends on. See, when we buy it, in other ways, they only give you the leaves, baby spinach leaves, or you have the big long leaves and you have no butt end. But typically, I see, anyway, in our area, when it's a South Asian specific store, you're getting the nice butt ends of the spinach. Those take really, really well. All those Asian mustards, Asian greens, things of that nature, if you can catch yourself a butt end on the bottom of them, they will grow for you, not a problem. What else? Onions, same thing. Keep the little butt end, about an inch. Shove that in the soil. It'll start growing a whole new thing for you. Leeks, they grow beautifully. They grow so fast and huge. I have the same butt ends of my leeks that I've been growing for years, and they just keep growing. In fact, I keep them in planters, and I throw them in my garage in the winter. They're freezing in there, but they're growing happily. It's dark in there. It's cold as all heck in there, and they're still growing. And I'm going to put them back out in the planters, and they're already like this tall again from the winter. I did cut them back before the end of the season. They're quite happy. I've been harvesting off them all season. Spring onions, anything, any kind of little onions, shallots, any kind of little onion. If you can get spring onions, leave about 2 inches, shove those back in the soil. It'll grow a brand new plant for you. Herbs. Let's talk about herbs. If you buy typically, if you buy, say, thyme, or you buy sprigs of rosemary at the store, even in those little plastic see-through containers, provided that it has been stayed moist in there and they're not dry as all heck, you can shove those stalks right into soil and they will start another plant for you. Not every time will it take, but oftentimes they will. I've done that with my rosemary. I've done that with lavender. In fact, I've bought lavender at a store and shoved those cuttings. Basically, they're cuttings, and they'll regrow for you. Got some bugs in here in the greenhouse. That's a good sign. It's been nice and warm again. I would say we only have one little spot of ice on our property, but it's supposed to get snow again next week. That's okay. It's all good. The ground is warming up. What else can I grow? What else did I just put outside today? Potatoes. So, especially potatoes. When you keep potatoes and say you don't use the whole bag and they start growing those crazy eyes and things like that, that's beautiful. That's perfect. You can totally grow those. So, there's a couple ways to juice potatoes. You can actually see my start to finish potatoes. I have a video, and I'll have to link that somehow in the video. I'll try and get that in there for you later so that you can see it. But you can cut them into pieces, right? The potatoes. Let them dry after that for 2 or 3 days. Let that skin kind of dry out on the outside. You can also toss it in sulfur. That's one thing that I have done, and that works really well. It keeps them from rotting and getting pests and things trying to eat them, but you don't have to. I've done it both ways, and it's just fine. Or you can just plant the whole potato. If you don't feel like doing all that, and the potato looks kind of wonky, and you're like, do that, put them in the ground, about 6 inches down. So they are very easy. You throw them in the ground. They make a nice big plant. You don't eat the greens. You don't eat the seeds. Don't eat the little fruits. Sometimes they grow little fruits that look like tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. Don't eat those. Don't do that. But you can save the seeds from those. But not every plant does it every time. And then at the end of the season, you dig them up. After the plants die out and they turn brown, a couple weeks later, you can go down there and dig them all up. It's beautiful. Same thing with sweet potatoes. In fact, sweet potatoes, you don't have to plant the whole thing. You can just take the slips. So the things that grow, those big long, if it's sitting on your shelf in your pantry and they're growing these big long feelers, break that off right at the sweet potato, shove that in the ground, and that's going to make a beautiful sweet potato vine. So a lot of people don't realize sweet potato vines, even the ones you buy from the nursery, you can eat those. You can eat the leaves of sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes is a really good way to go because the whole thing is edible, right? And they're tasty. You can eat them raw or you can cook them. Herbs. What else was I going to say? Sometimes you'll get parsley root at a store, and that can definitely go back in the ground. Celery root, you can buy celeriac. That can go in the ground. Beets, even the tops of beets. If you use the rest of the beet, slice off the top, leave a good inch, and where the leaf end, and put that in the ground. They could go back. They don't do every time, but they sometimes do. Turnips as well, same thing. Rutabaga, same thing. And if you get rutabaga or turnip or beets that are starting to look not good, they're even going bad, or your onions are starting to go bad, you can just throw them into the ground just the way they are. And if they've got those big long green shoots starting and whatnot, throw them back in the ground. What's going to happen is the bugs and the microorganisms, they're going to eat all the yucky stuff, and those vegetables are going to regenerate. You'll have a healthier thing. It might even multiply. So that's a cool way to go as well. Yeah, right here I've got some nice thyme. It smells so good. Yeah, so bok choy, things like that. Giant cabbages, Napa cabbage. I love those. Oh, they're the best cabbages. But you can use the butt ends of those. Anything like that. Okay, so that's a good place to start. If you're getting berries like strawberries, blueberries, sometimes you can buy goji berries, even dried. If you're getting them like at a bulk place, oftentimes they're not like coated in all kinds of stuff, and you can plant those back into the soil and possibly get some plants. Golden berries, those are super easy to propagate. Wow, they grow all kinds of plants and they grow fast. Other berries, you might take a couple years before you actually get a harvest from your berry plant, and that's fine. Start them now, right? in a couple years, you'll be happy that you did. Prickly pears. Those prickly pears you buy, those grow really, really well. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, pardon me. Dragon fruit. You can take a dragon fruit home, slice a slice of it, put it on top of the soil, barely sprinkle some soil on top, and you'll get a whole big giant pot. In fact, let me show you my giant pot of dragon fruit, which I need to separate. I need to get some special gloves to do so. But this is from store-bought dragon fruit. Has another little plant in here, and that's okay. That's actually a plantain, and they're healthy. But look at these guys. Really? They're so pretty. They started the beginning of last season. Coconut. Now coconuts take a little more skill, a little more patience, maybe, not even skill. You want to keep them warm. You want to keep them moist. So what I do is I wrap them in a rag towel that's moistened. I put it on top of a yogurt container and keep water in there. Make sure it's almost like a wick. So you have some of the towel in the water. Keep it wet all the time. Keep it warm. By the end of the season, provided it was a fresh and healthy coconut, you can hear the juice inside, the water inside, it'll start sprouting at the top. It's amazing. I did that last year, and I was like, what? Citrus seeds. They grow really well. It's super easy to grow those. You just shove them in the soil about a centimeter down. That's it. They grow easily. The key for me, for any of those exotics, any exotic fruits and things of that nature, the key that I've found is getting them in the soil immediately. Like, as soon as you eat them that day or next day, get them right in the soil. You have much more success. Mangoes, I've started that way. Shucks. Lychees, star fruit, pineapple top. That's an easy one. You take a pineapple home with the top, twist off the green top, the leaves, shove that right in the soil. They start so easily, and they create a beautiful plant. I would pick you up and show you my stuff, but another day I'll do that. Cherimoya, I've started that way. I've got lots of cherimoya. Jackfruit, I've got jackfruit from that. Any kind of citrus that you find. Now, the problem is, a big problem, is that a lot of fruit is being changed. It's becoming either a GMO, or they're trying to hybridize it in such a way that they are seedless, because everyone has problems with seeds. But guess what, people? Seeds are good for you. It drives me crazy that I can't get grapes in the store that actually have seeds in them. That's just bananas to me. Everyone's so finicky. Come on, man. The craziest part about all of that is they will go to the health food store and they will buy a whole bottle of grape seed extract to take for their immune system. But they want to complain that there's a seed in their grape. I don't get it. All you need is the seeds in your grape. But you used to be a lot healthier when we would eat those seeds. So it's hard to find seeds like in your watermelon. Try finding a watermelon that is actually a seeded watermelon and not supposed to be a seedless, and you get a couple seeds from it. It's craziness to me. So many citrus varieties, you're finding no seeds. It's even more prevalent every year. If you're not paying attention, maybe you're not noticing. But I notice because I take note all the time about that stuff. I'll get lemons. I'll have a whole bag of lemons and won't find one seed. Whole bag of oranges, not one seed. That's not good. It's not good. It's not natural, you know? Anyway, anything you find a seed at the store, and if it's questionable to you, get them in the ground immediately. So today I had some honeydew melon, yellow honeydews, got them right in the soil. Squashes, if you buy squashes at the store, those are easy. Scoop those seeds. If you don't eat the seeds and toast them, then shove them in the soil, dry them out, keep them. They keep for quite some time, years you can keep those for and still keep reseeding. Pumpkins and squashes. Kiwis, I've started that way. Passion fruits, grenadillas. The list is endless. I don't even know. If you find a seed, just try it. Look it up online. There's so much information on how to do things. Surely you will find whatever it is, the piece of produce you have, and how to grow it. But that's a good place to start. I think those are really easy things to do. Next time, maybe I'll talk about seeds, actual like cabbage seeds and things like that, vegetable seeds, what are the easiest ones to grow and propagate and to take care of? Yeah. So I thought that today we would talk about the food scraps, because those are, it's just a jump start, right? All those scraps. Easy peasy. Celery, that's a big one. Huge one. Leave like 2 inches of that celery butt, get that into the ground. Those will grow back. You'll have some big, beautiful celery, and you'll be happy that you did. Swiss chard, same way. If you get a butt end, sometimes it's hard to find it. They just give you the leaves. Collard greens, any kind of greens like that. The bok choy, the pak choy. There's so many things out in the store. Just try it. Anyway, I think that's the easiest place to start. I hope that you guys learned something. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, let me know if there's something you want me to talk about specifically. And we'll just keep on, bite by bite, taking this self-sufficiency to a whole nother level. Okay? So thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Good to see everybody. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Be a champion in your kitchen, your greenhouse, again, wherever you are, and eat deliciously.